Hey one, hey all, and it is Friday once again, and that means, of course, it's Countdown Day. It's also Black Friday, it's also the day after American Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving belated to all of you from the US, but with the kingdom close at hand, if not starting to release in some areas, because I know the core class offerings have been showing up, this seemed like a very fitting time to do a top 10 of the best Beast Wars / Beast Machines episodes. That's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. And hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors NL, The Autobot Family, Transformers versus G.I. Joe versus DC Universe versus Marvel, and Autobot City Central, as well as all my social media links. That's all in the description below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, why not use the donate link? Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, especially now with the holidays coming up. And while you're at it, if you want, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. And this is going to be the top 10 as voted on all across social media by you guys. The top 10 Beast Wars / Beast Machines episodes. Why do I put both of these series together? Because I've always said, and will always say, that technically Beast Machines is season 4 of Beast Wars. Why they changed it, I don't know. It's the same characters, same voices, same continuity. The argument could even be made that RID 2001 or Car Robots is also in with this, but that's a debate for another time, depending on the region of the world you live in. But almost irrefutably, Beast Machines, as much as a lot of people don't like it, and certainly don't like to admit it, it does technically stand as Season 4. So I thought I'd put them together and see what we'd come up with based on the votes. As always, we're going to begin things first with the honorable mentions. And the honorable mentions kick off with Feral Scream, as well as Optimal Situation, Crossing the Rubicon, Bad Spark, and Low Road. Low Road, by the way, is the one where Rhinox saves the day by passing gas, or farting, if you will. All of those, all 5 of those, were indeed honorable mentions. They're all great episodes, but none of them made the countdown. Who actually did? Well, let's kick things off with number 10 first. Number 10 is actually the Season 1 finale, Parts 1 and 2 of Other Voices, where we find out that really all of this that has been going on has been part of an experiment by these mysterious aliens who take on the form, because they don't really have a form of their own, take on a form that resembles authority that the Transformers will recognize, especially Optimus Prime, when they take on Unicron's head. And they kind of say, look, we need to sterilize the whole thing, and there's this kind of countdown sequence that's taking place. But there's a transwarp cell that Tarantulas is working on, and through all of the happenings and goings on, what basically happens is Optimus Primal ends up in the pod that is the transwarp cell, and the whole thing explodes at the end, presumably taking out the, hold on, I have to see what this is called, the Planet Buster and Optimus Primal himself. One of the most epic stories that all of Season 1 of Beast Wars built to. You had an epic season building to an epic season finale, and for that reason, Other Voices Part 1 and 2 has to take the number 10 slot. Number 9 takes us from a season finale to a series finale, this time with Beast Machines and Endgame. An epic, epic end to a very esoteric, very eccentric type of storytelling that was done in Beast Machines. It's not for everyone, but by the time we get to Endgame, it is Megatron's last ultimate stand. It is Optimus Primal's last chance to save the organic aspects of Cybertron so that they may once again flourish. Who will win? The technical superiority of Megatron, who takes on the body of Optimal Optimus, as I do believe that's the body form he takes on. Or will it be the now budding organic, kind of enlightened, inspired point of view of Optimus Primal? Well, by the end, we once again see that good triumphs over evil, and Optimus Primal's kind of attempt to save the organic nature of Cybertron wins the day. And we kind of end things with Cheetor in charge of the Maximals, and he's kind of given the, I guess, task of protecting and ensuring that the techno-organic nature of Cybertron will flourish well into the future. It is considered by many to be the actual final end of G1, and for that reason it has to take the number 9 slot. Number 8 is another 2-part episode with the coming of the Fusors. Not only did this introduce the characters of Quick Strike and Silverbolt, and Silverbolt very much had a storyline very akin to Skyfire's in G1, with him starting off as a Predacon or Decepticon and then changing sides because he realizes that this is wrong. We also see Optimus Primal in his new Transmetal body, and he is kind of the thing that saves the Maximals from being destroyed by the Predacons, who vastly outnumber them. And Black Arachnia downloads some vital information but doesn't tell anyone. This is one of those foreshadowing things that would come back later on. There's actually a lot that goes here, but perhaps the most important aspects are the introduction of 2 of the most classic, beloved characters of the entire franchise, and for that reason it has to take the number 8 slot. Number 7 is one of my personal favorites, and it's a real simple one to cover. Number 7 is Possession. This is an episode that directly links the Beast Wars to G1. Why? Because Starscream, or the ghost of Starscream anyway, takes over the body of Waspinator. Yes, even in the Beast Wars we managed to see just a little bit of Starscream, and for that reason alone, the connection to G1, it has to take the number 7 slot. Number 6 is one that I thought actually might be higher on this list, but nevertheless, it does make sense that it would be on it. It is Beast Wars Part 1 and 2. This, of course, is the series premiere. This is the 2-part series premiere where they, leave the planet and they're on their ships and they crash on prehistoric Earth, and we learn that they're on prehistoric Earth and they get these beast modes and they come up with the names. I always wondered, did they have the names like Cheetor and Rat Trap when they were on Cybertron? Because that wouldn't have made much sense. And if they didn't, what names would they have had? I've always been interested to know that, really. But without a doubt, kind of like when a lot of people voted for More Than Meets the Eye, because it's the thing that kicked off G1, a lot of people wanted to vote for Beast Wars because it's the thing that, well, kicked off the Beast Wars. And it established the 2 sides, and it established the characterizations very early on. Without a doubt, the thing that started all has to be on the list, and for that reason, it easily takes the number 6 slot. And here we are at the halfway mark, and this is probably one of the weirdest, most strange Transformers episodes of any series of any time. I'm talking about Transmutate. It is the story of this weird mutated little damaged, I think, stasis pod, and Transmutate is so incredibly powerful. But this episode really stands out because the bloodlust of the bloodthirsty rampage was something that was put to the back burner, and we saw this more, we saw empathy from Rampage. He had a friend, he had somebody that he cared about. We never saw that before. It is a beautiful standalone story that very much speaks to not judging a book by its cover and hidden talents, as well as looking below the surface. Just because someone and something is evil doesn't mean that they're absolutely devoid of goodness. For all of those reasons, for the depth of this episode, for the oddity of this episode, Transmutate fits in very nicely at the number 5 slot. Number 4 is a beautiful and simple story that introduces a great character, but it's a kind of classic race to get the MacGuffin of a new spark that is in a stasis pod, a damaged stasis pod. And while we have the Predacons and the Maximals doing everything they can to be the ones that grab it to add to their ranks, in the end, what emerges is none other than Airazor herself. And this was the addition of not only another beloved character, but it was the start of a wonderful arc and a wonderful relationship between Airazor and Tigatron. It all began with the episode The Spark, and for that reason it takes the number 4 slot. Number 3 takes us to another series finale with the Nemesis. It is the series finale of Beast Wars, even though Endgame is the series finale of Beast Machines. I like to think of the Nemesis more as a season 3 finale, but whatever, that's semantics. It is the story of Beast Wars Megatron basically finding his way onto the G1 Nemesis under the ocean and then raising it from the depths, destroying everything that he sees. Kind of maniacal, even quoting the Covenant of Primus as he does so, and even destroying Quick Strike and Inferno in the process. However, this is not just the story of a maniacal Beast Wars Megatron using the Decepticon warship to destroy everything around him, but it's also the final redemption story of Dinobot as Dinobot 2 finds his honor again and sort of recaptures his original spirit. There was a next episode that sort of explained that more, because a lot of people said, how would he have the kind of spirit and the memories of the original Dinobot? There was a next episode that explained that. It's too bad, because it was part of a great story arc. It looked hopeless. Optimus Primal was being bested by Megatron, who easily had the upper hand, until basically Rhinox saves the day by kind of crashing across the bridge and whatnot. The Nemesis explodes and goes back down into the depths. They take the shuttle, they affix a transwarp cell to it, and they head her back to Cybertron, all except for Waspinator, who's finally due for a rest and kind of fans himself off, I believe, with the parts of Inferno and Quick Strike to live happily ever after, or so we would think. Needless to say, the tones, the overtones, the epic threat of the Nemesis, the connections to G1, everything about this screamed that it was a story worthy of being a series finale, worthy of one last epic encounter, and indeed it was, and for that reason it takes the number 3 slot. Number 2 takes us to the story that most connected Beast Wars to G1. It is parts 1, 2, and 3 of the agenda. As a matter of fact, even Ravage himself is now kind of sent as like a law enforcement official to recapture Megatron and his agents. We learned that Megatron and his Predacons are actually, you know, kind of a band of criminals, and that Megatron took his namesake from the original Megatron because he admired him so much, and he even attempts to, and succeeds in getting Ravage to change sides with a message from the original Megatron himself, with the idea that, you know what, you should use transwarp technology to go back in time, take out Optimus Prime and the Autobots so that the Great War never starts, and when the Decepticons wake up, they automatically have dominion and control. It was a brilliant story, a brilliant idea, so original, a wonderful plan. It gave a reason for the connection. It explained how the past was the future and the past all at the same time. Any way you want to cut it, it made Beast Wars Megatron into a new level of evil and a new level of diabolical, that he would have the power to absolutely change history and change the Great War. It was one of the best stories that Transformers, forget just Beast Wars, that Transformers ever told, and for that reason it has to take the number 2 slot. And so we are at number 1 finally, and number 1 is one that I think was almost a foregone conclusion that it was going to win. It is Code of Hero. It is the redemption story of the Predacon Dinobot, who kind of valued honor over everything else, sided with the Maximals, even though he never really fit in, and used to always say that, at his core, in his spark, he was indeed a Predacon. Except when push comes to shove, it was the actions of Dinobot holding off the Predacon forces until the Maximals could arrive that saved all of mankind, all of humanity, so that, well, we're here. We have Dinobot to thank for that. Perhaps there was no maximal, more heroic than a Predacon. And for that reason, for his story, for a brilliantly told, beautiful story that was heartbreaking by the end, it has to take the number 1 slot. And there we are once again. We've gone from 10 down to 1, and we had a lot of votes for a lot of great episodes, from Dark Designs to Fallout to The Catalyst to Optimal Situation to Spider's Game, Other Victories, and so on and so forth. Such great writing, such great storytelling. And a lot of people said, hey, it's hard to pick out episodes because one directly kind of feeds into the other. And indeed they do, but some of the actual stories were fillers and some of them were actually brilliant. Let me know where your favorites fell, if they made the list at all. I'd love to hear from you guys. I appreciate you coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you if you're in a position to help the channel to grow. Don't forget, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, especially now with the holidays coming up. Or, of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around, man. Have some fun with us. Don't forget that somehow, someway, each and every single solitary day, man, you do make a difference, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit. Either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.